Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world. We are now live at the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice for the World Championship Series Winter Championship. We are live, it's official. I'm here on the desk, joined by In Control, DeMuslim, and Nathanius to kickstart an epic 4-day adventure. In Control, you've had a new haircut, you're looking dashing today.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to always be along your side.
I am happy to be here as well. And your intro is already better than James Too Good Harding's.
It's already better.
No.
Not as good as another guy that we have here today.
Well,
but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Here's a hint. Red eyeballs. Okay.
Oh, man.
The Muslim, mate, good to have you both as well, of course.
Good to be here, good to be here.
Just a great tournament coming up. I'm just glad that there's at least one USA player that's made it this far for me to completely shill and get behind.
Did you hit the Nathanius button? Hang on. And Nathanius, you're also joining us here too. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
It's already begun here, and I'm sure this is not the end of it either. Of course, we're here to run the Winter Championship, which is a 4-day tournament. 32 players are here ready to compete over the next couple of days. It's a brutal tournament. It is best of 5 all the way through until the grand finals, which will be best of 7. Note that the winner of this will qualify to the global playoffs, and that is a big, big moment for a lot of these players, of course, but a grueling tournament over the next couple of days.
4 days is as long as it gets for the most part. Single elimination, so the nerves are going to be on high, but I like the best of 5, and players will agree with that, the Muslim being the most recent player on this desk.
Best of 5, it's always the matchup where luck plays the least part, right? Like, usually the better player goes through. But it's also one of those things that's really nerve-wracking that you don't get to often play that. Most practice consists of ladder, and then best of 3s. So best of 5, it's like, whoa, this is next level right here. And the fact that it's for $6,000 just in the first round.
Yeah.
Or zero.
Or zero if you do lose.
I'm a lot on the line. I mean, we can go talking about the prize pool here. There's obviously the top ends of this tournament offer a lot. The lower ends, not so much. So every single game, of course, naturally very, very important. Jeff, you are modeling the prize pool here. $35,000 for first place. 3,000 WCS points, of course, in that global playoffs position. But we are in the round of 32. The win gets you $6,000, Nathanius.
Well, Sean, I mean,
that's awesome.
We're going to talk about everything, of course, but you said something that's very new, very different to this system. The winner of this tournament is going to be at BlizzCon at the end of the year, and that is guaranteed more money. That's the prestige. That is huge. A seed into the grand final. That's incredible.
And that echoes into the Korean system as well, with GSL and Star League also offering that same seed for the players. And there's 3 options, of course, for the players. Well, this is the winter. There is still spring and summer to come. And we could take a look now at the standings that kind of represent that a little bit more and describe what the WCS system is all about. Currently, because of Drogo's win earlier on at DreamHack, he is the #1 in terms of points. But as you can see to the top left, those are the 3 golden tickets, you could say, that get you to the global playoffs. Of course, 3 big championships, and this is the first one. So, of course, players will be gathering points throughout this tournament. There is a similar system also in Korea, where the winners, as already mentioned, Star League and GSL, and then the point system too, where they get 4 winners and 4 from the points. We have 3 and 5 from the points. A lot to play for.
Yes. The WCS system is one that is trying to accommodate everyone across the planet, so it does get a little confusing for us watching in, but the basic gist of it is, this is a championship. This is the Winter Championship, so there's 3,000 points up for grabs. The winner's automatically seeded in, $150,000 total dollars, and throughout the entire year, we can look forward to huge championships like this, but also kind of smaller events where you're still getting some points, but it's very much so as like, it's building up to the to each grand finale, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest parts is just the build up to this championship. We've seen so many different things that are really cool. Personal favorite was following the ladder qualifier, especially for this tournament. Sure. We'd never seen anything like that in almost any competitive game ever, a way to use the actual matchmaking and ladder to kind of set the stage for something that was a bit easier to follow over the course of a week.
And getting 32 is a lot of players here. We didn't really look at the schedule, so let's take a look at the schedule. We did mention that it is 4 days, but precisely what's happening on these 4 days. Today is a full round of 32 day. There's so many games in the round of 32 that we do need to bleed a little bit into tomorrow. So 2 more games will be played tomorrow before moving through to the round of 16. Today is a stream day for us, round of 32, but also for Base Trade TV, who will be covering the second set of games. And from tomorrow, it is all focused on one stream here on the main stream.
And I'm pumped about that. I think it's really cool that Base Trade's actually helping, because so often there's people who are like, what? There's other games that are going on. I want to see those players too. It's really hard to show every match. In fact, I think it's nearly impossible. But with them helping out, they do such a great job. It's going to be awesome.
And also what we have for you guys as well is over there, that position that Nathanius is currently occupying will be the dedicated Base Trade TV guy. So you're going to be following for us the first game of the day, which is Pult versus Lambo, and we'll have updates throughout the day with every other caster who is in that position to let you guys in the mainstream enjoy it. But let's take a look at the brackets.
What would be like a minor Base Trade? What do you call that? A counterattack? He's the counterattack trade?
The counterattack position. Here is the bracket, of course, 32 players. I walked into the player area before, and there's just so many players there. And
32 of them.
32 of them, exactly. Yeah. I tried a head count, and it was 32 exactly. A great list of games. I mean, it's very hard to pick an easy winner out of all these. There's so many very good players within the WCS that are here to play Muslim.
I think this is one of the closest tournaments to call. In the first round alone, Nurture against Showtime, for example, just one of the matchups going on. Happy against Hydra, like they are very, very potential finals going on. And it is definitely one of the most exciting tournaments that I've seen in recent times. I literally have no idea who can win and who will be in the top 8 even.
And it's so funny because you can talk to the players and they're in a very similar position too, where they're like, I believe I can get to the top 4. And I've heard that from so many different players. Yeah. You know, your Marine Lords, your Lilbo's confident to do so. Obviously Hydra, Pult, and Violet to do so. What do you think about the players? And we've got here Nate, my good friend over there.
You know, one of the coolest parts about being involved with following the qualifiers and all the stages for this is that I've also, you know, had the personal experience of seeing a lot of the American players that have come up in here, and I'm going to be talking about them all week. You know, unless he gets eliminated, which would make me feel pretty bad. I'm going to be following Neeb a lot. You know, one of the most up and coming United States players, one of the first we've really had actually getting here, and he's beaten all these Koreans in the last month in multiple series. So. And
for the first time in a long time, he, like, as far as foreign Protosses go, on the ladder, he's actually the hardest Protoss I've played in quite some time. Like, he's really, really good. Also, players, you talked about the cutthroat, like Hunger Games kind of thing, like the winner stays on. Snoot was tweeting earlier, like, he's against Major. They're both potentially, like, top 16 skilled, but one of them's going to go out, and along with 16 other players in the first round, so...
Storylines. That's the word that leaps out at me. And I just, when I hear storylines, I think of two things. I think of jam-packed, awesome WCS tournaments, and I think of Calaris.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Jumped boat, went to Heroes, and you know, I respect a man's decision to follow his dreams and his memes. But he'll be remembered here with the storylines.
Another guy who has been missing in the past, but not anymore. He's back. It is, of course, Red Eye, who's in his little couch area. Red Eye, are you there?
I am here, yes, Sean.
Hello, welcome back to StarCraft.
Thank you very much, mate. How you doing?
I'm doing brilliant. It's good to see you back.
Looks like you guys are doing
I'm very happy to be back.
Red Eye on Earth, how you doing?
It's good, Sean. Up at your moon base.
Honestly, I think Jeff said it best, you know, when he said that he was excited that I was back. He was literally spot on about it.
He was, but you're also with someone over there, if I'm not mistaken.
I am also with here, yes. Thank you, Sean. I'm also with Rotterdam over here on the couch. Welcome to the Pro Corner, as we're going to dub this. We've got 2 days of this coming towards you. And also, because we want to get the players over here, we're going to talk to them after their matches, and we'll try and get a few of them over to find out what they think of the WCS system in 2016 as well. I've got Rotterdam with me right now. How you doing, Roddy?
I'm doing really good. I mean, I think the boys at the desk pretty much covered everything already. I could potentially
let's just throw it back. Let's just throw it back.
I'm doing great. Let's just go back to the desk. But no, it's awesome to be here, obviously. Last year was a lot of fun being in Katowice. Our last event that we had in Poland was the WCS Season 3 Finals. In my opinion, the most fun 2015 event period. Like, absolutely amazing. Everything about it was great. So excited to be back, and especially with this tournament, you know, so much money on the line. Unique format, like they said, very deadly, Hunger Games. So there's no reason not to be excited.
Ben obviously mentioned that it's a very exciting time, and also the fact that it's so open. I mean, I just haven't known such an open tournament for so long. So how do you pick out a top 4? Which I'm going to make you do anyway, but how do you pick out a top 4?
I mean, even though it is definitely very hard to call, there are a lot of first-round matchups already. I think Nurchill Showtime is very hard to call. Dayshi Drogo, our first match of the day, very hard to call. And then also Major Snoot. But at the end of the day, there are still a couple of players that do stand out for me a little bit. You know, when I look at a 32-man bracket, I always think you can split it up in 4 brackets, right? Because obviously 4 people make it to the semifinals.
That's smart, that is, Kev.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
smart.
I
like
know,
that.
like I'm breaking boundaries over here. So I guess if I would have to make a top 4, since I know you're going to make me pick one anyway, I would probably go for Hydra from the bottom side, then against Marine Lord, and then on the top side I'd probably go for Pold versus Nurchill. Like
it's quite safe, Kev.
Yeah, I know it's a little safe, but at the same time, is it really safe? Because a lot of people have Showtime as a favorite already over Nurchill in the first round. And I do not want to be right. Like, I like being wrong because that makes it exciting, right? Like, we all watch a lot of StarCraft, but we always know what's going to happen. That kind of takes the fun away. So I hope I'm wrong, but if I would have to pick a top 4, that would be my top 4.
Okay, good solid top 4. I like that. In terms of dark horses, because there's plenty of those in the field as well, who would you pick out?
Well, this morning I was reading the Team Liquid Power rankings, and most of the time I agree with those rankings. Well, not completely, but for the bigger lines, I would say like I agree with them. But this morning I actually disagreed very strongly with the power rankings. There were a couple rankings I think were way off, but there was one guy that stood out in particular for me. Major at rank 30, like, are you kidding me? Major is so good. And if I look at Major's bracket, I actually think that Major has a shot if he makes it past Snoot. Like, that's a very big obstacle. But if he makes it past the first round, second round he gets Harstem or Masa. If it's TvT, I definitely hold Major as the favorite, even though Masa is very good, by the way. If it's Harstem, it's close, but Major can still do that. Then you're already in the quarterfinals, and then there is a shot that he runs into Marine Lord, which would also be a good matchup. So in a crazy world, Major can actually make it to the semifinals, so maybe he would be my outsider.
Yeah, tough bracket, of course.
Yeah.
For all the players. And as Kev rightly pointed out, it is do or die. It's Hunger Games style StarCraft here this weekend. We're very much looking forward to it. Our first game is not too far away, but one of the players that Kev didn't speak about is a champion already, PtitDrogo.
I feel like this kind of rivalry between France and Poland, just because we have the best players in Europe. So yeah, I think the Polish fans are gonna cheer for the very good Polish players, and I will have my own fans at home in France cheer for me. The main thing that changed between the qualification and the final of DreamHack was that photon overcharge was changed from 25 energy on 50 energy, and I was stressing like a moron in every qualifier. It was a really mix of not really knowing what to do anymore because the strategy was changing, so I was playing incredibly safe, not really my game, you know. So I lost a lot of stupid games in the qualifier. I'm really glad I managed to do it in the end, but since then I've trained a lot, now I know what to do, and I think I will bring my A game to this tournament. Yeah, my playstyle, I always had a hard time defining my playstyle, but I listened to Moro talk about Mario and DreamHack, and I think this world fits pretty well. I just make a shit ton of units and throw stuff at you. That's pretty much what my playstyle is in every matchup. I kind of like it, so I'm gonna describe it like that. Here, I'm incredibly motivated to go far. Like every match will matter, every WCS point will matter, because the end game is obviously to go to BlizzCon at the end of the year. And this tournament is gonna be a really big part, because the dream is that if you win, you go to BlizzCon already, so mission successful, you don't have to do anything for the rest of the year. Yeah.
Of course, that was Drogo, a player who only just qualified to play at this event. He played in every single qualifier to Muslim. Off the back of the DreamHack win is the weirdest thing of all of this, and failed every single time. And even in the last chance qualifier, he technically kind of failed then as well, but ended up in that three-way tie, which got him to play here.
One of the weirdest things about Drogo is the fact that it was so hard for him to qualify, even though he kind of proved, in fact did prove, that he was the best at DreamHack Leipzig. Like, he won DreamHack Leipzig, and then he's struggling in these qualifiers. But one of the things that really affected Drogo was his PvZ has always been phenomenal, like always been phenomenal. Throughout Heart of the Swarm, you had Lilbo that's really good, but PtitDrogo was very close behind / equal with.
Yeah.
Then in that patch, it kind of removed the idea of PvT. Like, it was a much easier matchup for Protoss, so immediately one of his weaker matchups became really easy for him. So really strong PvZ, really strong PvT, and he was pretty apt at PvP too. So that patch, that getting negated, it hurt him a lot. So his PvT hasn't been looking as solid as it once did.
And of course, he is going up against Dayshi in our opening match here. Of course, on Base Trade TV, we will have the Pult versus Lambo games. You can go over to that on twitch.tv or navigate yourself on Team Liquid to the right-hand side where the matches are listed and go find that game there, which Nate will be covering for us. But of course, your opinion on Dayshi is a solid Terran player that's very passionate and very dedicated to improving and actually getting results recently.
Yeah, I like Dayshi a lot. He's always been one of the best players to follow because among European Terrans, he's always been a bit of an active guy. He's a bit more cheeky in his social media presentation as well. But I do think he's got quite a bit of work to come up against a player like PtitDrogo because, you know, from following European tournaments and all these qualifiers, Dayshi hasn't been a name that's really been jumping out too much to me.
I know the social media presence, though, Jeff. I mean, this is right up your alley here.
I did have to laugh.
You
did. He's had a few choice words with Mr. David Kim, which European players in particular have been wont to do since Idra kind of gave up. He passed off that chalice. He like shared it with everybody. But I like Dayshi as a wild card in this matchup too. I think he definitely is the underdog. A lot of people would look at this. I mean, PtitDrogo just won the last big tournament, so of course he's going to get all the accolades and attention. But Dayshi kind of has been making a career off of being that guy that everyone's like, what are you doing? You're wearing sunglasses and drinking a beer at Home Story Cup. And then he beats Bomber. He can do that.
He can do that, and that's when he's not playing as much as he is now. Like, one of the things with Dayshi for Legacy of the Void, he openly said, like, I'm playing 12 hours a day, like, non-stop. And even when he got to Home Story Cup, the most recent one, he was sat there playing the whole time, and drinks aside, like, they weren't on his desk at all. So he's been taking it very seriously.
All right, so where are we going to go with this one? I know the game is just around the corner. It's almost ready. Nathanius, we're going to start with you over there.
I think for this matchup, I do like PtitDrogo. Obviously, as a Terran player, my bias says I wouldn't mind seeing Dayshi pull out some crazy stuff, but I find it hard to see it being super close. I think PtitDrogo's got like a pretty clear 3-1, 3-0 lead.
To Muslim.
They're both such mass gamers and like hard workers right now, but I'm going to have to give the edge to Dayshi actually with a 3-1.
It's not that bad of a bet. Funka, who knows that French scene in and out, he's like Father French. He said if PtitDrogo's complaining on Twitter, be on the lookout for an upset here. And PtitDrogo, he has been whining a little bit. So I kind of like that bet. But being as how I usually pick the guy that ends up losing, I'm going to go with PtitDrogo. And I'm going to say 3-1 because he's supposed to win this match. He should. But he very well could get upset.
All right, then. Thank you very much, guys. Do remember that we will be giving you guys who are watching the main stream some updates on Pult versus Lambo and all the other games that are on Base Trade TV throughout the day. We are going to go to the casters team now, who are opening up the first match of the day with Drogo and Dayshi. It is Maynard and Valdez.
It is time. The games are about to begin for the WCS Winter Championship here at the Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice. Brendan, Valdez, how are you doing, mate?
Happy to be here, Maynard. Loving what we got on the cards here. Even for the first game, you got a huge, not a rivalry, but it's France against France, known as one of the strongest regions here, and we got a big game to start the night.
A huge game, and it means even more with the fact that you have to get into the round of 16 to get points and money out of this tournament. It's a very do-or-die situation for both players. We've been echoing that the whole broadcast so far, and we got to talk to Dayshi a little bit, and he's kind of got that feeling like him and Drogo, they're friends, they're countrymen.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't happy about the way the bracket turned out in terms of him having to face PtitDrogo in the first round here, but that makes it all the more interesting in my mind. As you were saying, they're friends, they definitely practice together, they know each other very well, and it seems they're both whining, complaining, so I really don't know what's going to go down here in this first one.
It is a very, very tough one to call, and like we said, there are a lot of matches in that bracket that are very, very tough to call. I'd say maybe one or two that seem like you could easily pick a favorite, but this one not so much. Guys, the wait is over, and we are going to get into game number 1 between PtitDrogo and Dayshi. All right, in the top left here are Prion Terraces from Millennium, the Terran player Dayshi.
Dayshi in that red. They're going to start things off pretty strong here.
So
and down in the bottom right, in the blue, the Protoss player from My Insanity, it is PtitDrogo.
Is indeed the recent winner of DreamHack Leipzig. Of course, the #1 WCS point holder right now. And both players really, really want to get that into the round of 16 and start that journey towards getting that WCS Global Final seed. All the way to BlizzCon already, if they manage to take out this tournament.
Yeah, imagine everybody has so much stress coming into this one. You want to make it all the way through, but the bracket is insane. That's really why it is one of these huge championships. I'm glad we get to do actually all of the round of 32 as well, just so we can see everyone come through. Shout out to Dayshi TV covering all the other stuff as well.
Whoa.
It's really, really cool. Whoa.
Yeah, this is looking like some. That's 3 racks Reaper coming up here for young Dayshi. Actually, he hasn't gotten any gas, so perhaps not. Maybe just.
Yeah,
Wow.
this looks like it's going to be Marines straight from the get-go. He's just going to make a lot of stuff, and
This is weird.
I love the idea, Maynard, because on this map you see the natural. It's a gold base. You want to take that as soon as possible. Both players are saying, hey, you know, if we just sit back and we both play a macro game, it's so valuable to get that natural that we should both get it, right? Well, no, Dayshi says he wants to turn up the heat.
And when you see that Drogo is looking for that extra CC on the low ground there, hasn't seen it yet, so the clogs may be ticking in his brain at this point. You know, it's being gasless. He did get in the main and have a look. So, yeah, he's going to need to start getting pretty defensive here as Dayshi starting things off pretty interestingly in this showdown of the Frenchmen.
Yeah, he needs to get some pylons down here on the low ground, get that mothership core out here as soon as possible. He's sending out another scouting probe. It's going directly to that gold base.
Oh, yeah, he's going to see that extra barracks here, and, I mean, if he wasn't sure before, he'd be sure now.
Yeah, now he's got a pretty good feel. He's only seen 2, but with the bunker coming down, he immediately cancels that Nexus.
Yeah, you have to, absolutely. No way you hold that Nexus. And even dropping an Engineering Bay, an extremely high hit point structure, if you cancel it early, very, very tough for the Protoss to deal with without significant DPS. And obviously, you're going to only have probes for the short while.
Yep.
And here comes the Marine pressure from Dayshi. Already going to get a probe kill here.
Needs to get those probes up the ramp. Mothership core has come out here. Is going to cancel one of the pylons, deciding he only needs 1. There aren't enough Marines out here to really focus down 1 pylon either, so
he
good
really
call
can't,
there.
He really can't snipe that Mothership core just yet with the Marine count, but he is up to 6 now, and that's definitely starting to get scary. And dropping a CC behind this, so this is just an extremely aggressive pressure from Dayshi, but he put a lot of resources into that.
Yeah, he put a lot of resources into it. He's still going to have all 3 barracks. He's actually going to float one into the main to scout here. Kind of an interesting strategy when you have this many barracks. I suppose it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's going to get a full scout of the main with this. There's only 1 stalker here, so why not?
And he's going to see that Stargate come down from Drogo as well. So he's, like you said, completely aware. I mean, it's a bit odd to send one of your production structures out in the middle of the map already, but I guess he does get that extra scouting. Doesn't need to burn a scan or anything like that. And he's perfectly aware of what's going on in Drogoville.
Yeah, and he's not. It looks like he's going to save that barracks actually in the corner and just wait to scout in the future as well. He's not done with that barracks yet, guys. It's definitely going to have some more value and utility a little bit later on.
Well, now we're in a situation where Drogo is sending his Mothership core across the map. He's got a couple gateway units, and he's also finished his Stargate now. So he is getting up for his game plan. He's actually taking a really quick 3rd Nexus as well and try and catch up with that early game sort of pressure there from Dayshi.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, with the build that Dayshi is going for, the stim is going to be delayed, combat shields, stuff is going to be delayed. He's going to have a lot of room here to go for that kind of 3rd base. And if he can secure it, that's going to be 2 gold bases to just the 1 of Dayshi, and he is going to have a ball in this game.
Absolutely. Speaking of balls, there was a ball of Marines there, and he had to recall immediately. There's no way he's going to float away from that many Marines on the ground there. Dropping the extra gateways to start padding out that ground army. It's looking pretty light right now. And you see that Oracles are the choice here from PtitDrogo, because obviously we've seen some Protoss preferred Phoenixes in this matchup, and going up for the Adept style, but I think that's starting to fall out of fashion a little bit. The Oracle, of course, we remember him from Heart of the Swarm, and
yeah,
still a very effective unit.
He's left a big mark on the StarCraft 2 scene.
I guess it's a she.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what she can do this time around, because Dayshi is very, very prepared. Lots of Marines in that ball.
Not in the mineral line, but he does actually have a turret in position, so the Oracle can't get too much done here. In fact, 0 kills.
Yeah, just going to poke a couple of SCVs. The barracks looks like it's getting another scout off here.
The barracks isn't going to do anything, Valdez. You lied to us all.
Well, I think it did get the scout there on that Nexus.
Oh, you knew there was a Nexus there. Come on, man.
So he's got all the information he could ever need here. And
yeah, actually seeing the 3 Nexus, you're right. Seeing 3 Nexuses is a really good tell there to the barracks. So I take it back, man. You're still the greatest.
It's all good.
This Oracle is in a bit of trouble here. Nearly gets picked off, but yeah, just trying to find any angle for some harassment there with that Oracle. Hasn't really found it yet. Dayshi's really looking locked down back at home.
Yeah, looking very solid, and I think he's going to go with the push here. No third command center that I can see. Stim about to finish up here.
In the main, there's an extra, but I mean, yeah, he hasn't dropped it yet, hasn't got that many SCVs. He's definitely been pumping out nothing but units for a while here, and he's sending them across the map and going to put on some more pressure, probably targeting this third Nexus, as it is really the weakest point in Drogo's infrastructure right now, and he's identified that, starting to warp in some defensive units.
It's going to be interesting to see if PtitDrogo can actually hold this. He has identified where the Terran units are now.
They have Stim, and there goes one Stalker. He can already burn down that pile, and the Mothership Core isn't here yet.
And the blink is not yet done. Dayshi's just coming in here trying to focus on some units, but...
I like that he's breaking off some Marines here. He knows he can't go for a straight engagement. Going to try and get some probe kills before Drogo cleans this up, but Drogo is definitely going to clean it up. There's no problem here. So not critical damage, and Dayshi's push got completely deflected.
Yeah, that's not... I thought it would do a little bit more damage, but the gateways were finishing up. He just barely got enough Stalkers out there. Even without the blink or any other upgrades, it was just enough. And now he's secured that extra gold base. Dayshi's getting up his own now, but PtitDrogo's definitely had that for a little bit longer here.
Has indeed, so he has that extra income, and obviously he had, like when Funko brought it up earlier, has the extra workers, so the infrastructure for Drogo is looking quite nice. Starting to kick into the macro now. Dayshi with a third CC drop can also pump out 3 SCVs at once. And with Drogo up to 6 gateways, he's ready to put on some counter pressure. Blink is done, or just about to finish here. And nice scan there from Dayshi, actually. Completely aware of Drogo's position.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. It looks like Dayshi should have enough, but I think PtitDrogo has enough here to trade for now. He's going to just catch one Marine and just play it safe. He's not 100% sure what's over there.
Well, the big deal is that, I mean, Dayshi has +1 attack finished on his units, and that's very scary for a gateway army of Drogo, which doesn't even have +1 armor just yet. So, I mean, especially the Stalkers are quite squishy against Bio. He has +1 attack, but, you know, the armor is quite handy against this Marines. Oh, he's actually starting to stim in and get a couple Stalkers here.
Gonna pick off a medevac here, but he's getting so many of these Stalkers now.
Yeah. A medevac pickoff is great, but losing 3 Stalkers for that, probably not so worth it. The Adepts are here, though, and they're trading reasonably well, but they're starting to fall. There's a lot of units here from Dayshi with the medevac backing them up for the sky as well. He's actually trading very, very well here and pushing Drogo all the way back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if PtitDrogo really could have run away from that fight, but Dayshi definitely getting the better end of that one. We do see the Warp Prism has come out here. We are going to have...
He needs those.
Yeah, I can't really be using, or rather losing units in the middle of the map here, especially when you're facing this many Blink Stalkers.
That's right. He has the army supply advantage by a good solid chunk there. And the worker supply is starting to even out a little bit as well. And with the upgrades on the way, looks like Dayshi needs to get a bit more defensive. He's not going to just rely on units. He's got a Widow Mine there and bunkers being dropped as well. He knows that Drogo's trying to put on some pressure. Nice blink bait there. Another blink bait on the way here. Oh,
nice burrow, but it's going to try to focus it down, but not quite going to be able to.
Yeah, Widow Mine does fire there. The Adepts are sort of soaking up the bio here for Dayshi. The bunkers aren't just done yet.
Bunkers aren't yet done. PtitDrogo trying to put on the pressure. We do have a couple of Time Warps trying to come down here.
Yeah, and it's actually looking like PtitDrogo is starting to pressure Dayshi back here. Bunker just finished now. It's going to help out a bit. The SCVs aren't there to repair, though. Actually, Drogo's units are getting quite low HP.
Yeah, very, very low. A couple of really great Widowmine shots and a blink on top of the army of Dayshi. I think it was a bit of a mistake. PtitDrogo getting a little bit too far ahead of himself.
That's right. Dayshi takes a reasonably solid supply advantage there.
Look at how many warp gates there are out on the map right now, 11. And you really can support this because of how many minerals you do get from the 2 gold bases.
Yeah. He's quite gas-starved, though, so can't pump out many Stalkers and Adepts at once with those 11 gateways. He's going to go for a play in the main here. I love this from Drogo. Try and split up Dayshi's attention and maybe even cut into his production here. Liberators are out, though, and that's always a scary time for the Protoss. Drogo's not looking at his army. He's going to lose a couple of his units here.
Losing a bunch, but a huge warp in the main, and there's nothing here for Dayshi. He has to run back some units, but there were just 11 warp ins there in the main.
And they're all Adepts, Valdez, the last unit you want in your main. Starting to tear apart the Terran there, and they are shading across, taking out so many SCVs.
I love the play there at the third base. PtitDrogo really pulling apart Dayshi here. Didn't look like he had to fight in the middle of the map, but now he's taking it home.
Absolutely. Even if he loses all these adepts, I feel like he's done some pretty sweet damage to Dayshi here. Really leveled out the playing field. I mean, look at the supply difference. Dayshi was up almost 30 supply, and Drogo has evened it out by pretty much just wiping out his entire mineral line. Look at that.
16, 15, they're still dying. There goes another one. But yeah, I mean, he basically lost his entire economy there.
And that puts Dayshi in a bit of an awkward position where he has to use this army supply advantage and try and get some damage done to Drogo here. If he just sits at home, I feel like it's going to go really badly for him.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. You know, the funny thing is I'm not sure he knows how far ahead he is in terms of army supply. It looks like he was just going for a regroup, but now he's going to push out.
Also, every stem's going to hurt a bit here. He's very, very low in medevac energy as he moves out across the map, but he has to do something, and these Liberators are going to be very key. But he picks one off there with a nice blink from Drogo.
I love this play out of Drogo. Not sure if it's going to win him the game, but it's going to give him the best shot.
Man.
Look at this once again.
If Dayshi wasn't all in now, he certainly is. He's moving across. The Immortal helping out against the Immortals.
Immortals, the Widowmine's even getting in there. Drogo just backing off here, but way too much bio in a concave at the bottom of the ramp. Now going into that natural.
And actually, these Liberators zoning out the Protoss units. They're forced to come down here. A blink there from Drogo. He's taking out the Liberators. They are all gone. Does he have enough to stop Dayshi's onslaught, though? The Widowmine softening up the Protoss units even more. Dayshi's unit's quite low as well. Doesn't have any more medevac energy.
All these units are so low. Drogo trying to blink in here. The probe's even going to be pulled. And Dayshi is going to be routed. Is going to have to go and back off a little bit. Looks like he's going to try to drop into that third base.
Yeah, he needs to get more probe damage done here because Drogo still has a bit of an advantage. He's still killing SCVs back in on Dayshi's side of the map as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dayshi just never was able to deal with it. He was going all in with this one. He wanted to kill Drogo here. Scans, looking for another base. There is not one. He's just got a lot of income on 3 because he has so many harvesters.
Yeah, and Marauders did get nerfed in Legacy of the Void. As we can see, they are still quite good against Stalkers there. The Adepts, however, not so much. Start to tear about the ground army there of Dayshi. Dayshi coming up with a reinforcement for the low ground.
He's got more units in here. He's not out of this one yet. We got another warp in here at the third base. Look at this trading. Dayshi's doing a nice job trading here.
He's trading very nicely, Valdez, even without the medevac energy. He just has such a huge supply advantage for his army. I mean, a lot of that isn't here, but it is being rallied across. He just cannot stop this pressure. He has to kill Drogo.
This is on a knife's edge. Every single unit that makes its way across the map helps that much more. And there's not even that many warpins coming in here. It looks like Dayshi may have tipped it.
He has done it. GG. Game number 1 going to Dayshi.
Wow.
And there you go. Wow. The Leipzig champion already down 1 map. Dayshi looking pretty calm and collected there.
What a way to start off the day, man. Start off the first series here, a huge back and forth game between those two French players.
A really weird start there with a 3 racks, just gasless, straight up marine pressure with the engineering bay block on the Nexus and bunker pressure as well.
Yeah.
That's a really entertaining game 1 to say the least.
Just a start like that is really just a foreshadowing that this tournament is going to be awesome. You could see even Drogo there really unhappy with the way things went, of course. It was really close throughout that, you know, even from the beginning, I feel like Drogo could have done some stuff. With the warp in, he killed so much of it, but he lost a lot of his army.
Yeah, I mean, that actually, the game sort of shifted in scale there because it looked like Dayshi had the sort of the running there. He was in hold of the reins, and then when Drogo started warping in 11 Adepts into his main and killing, you know, pretty much his entire worker line, all of his SCVs bar like 14 died, I think. And the production was being harassed as well, so everything that was pumping out of those barracks is getting taken down by those Adepts. I mean, even with the Adept nerf in the latest patch, we were talking about it a bit before the game started, they are the last unit you want in your main warped en masse as a Terran player for sure.
So much mobility, they can kill the SCVs so fast. It's really crazy, especially with the 11 warp-ins. I really like the strategy from PtitDrogo, especially because that third base that was taken by both players is so natural. You know, you can really spread apart that Terran player by getting a Warp Prism into the main.
A really sick way to even things out, but as we see, Dayshi in the end, that massive supply advantage for his army is certainly not going to go uncontested, and managed to stomp his way through for a win there.
Yeah, you can see even Dayshi looking a little bit jarred after that one.
Yeah, very intense. Both players, no doubt, high emotions, high heart rates, and getting warmed up for that game number 2, which is coming any second now.
Yeah, I love in that last game how Dayshi just stayed calm there. Even though he was down to 15 SCVs, he still remade that economy, had enough mules off the 3 orbitals to just stay in, you know?
Yeah.
And especially with the gold bases, which is what I think you were about to say.
Yeah.
With the 3 orbitals, you even if you don't have much of an economy as a Terran, you could make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, guys? Hello. Good to be on camera and say hello to you guys again. I hope you're enjoying the tournament so far. It's only been one game, but there are so many games to go through today.
Yeah.
For the WCS.
Best of fives throughout the day. So even for this series, we could potentially have 4 more. And based off of how close that last game was, this could go to Game 5.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are calling it a 3-1. Even Dayshi himself felt like it was going to be a 3-1.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like it's maybe a 3-2. I'm putting my hat in that 3-2 ring.
Who are you going to vote for, actually?
I feel like Dayshi.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually also thought Dayshi, but now it just looks like we're voting for Dayshi because he won. Maybe we should have done this before, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry. It looks completely non-legit now, but no, I legitimately did think Dayshi, I mean, you know, In Control brought up some amazing points that I agree with completely when he was talking about this matchup, is that Drogo is the DreamHack League champion, but with the Muslims facts saying that Dayshi is grinding out 12 hours of StarCraft a day, and how scary he is when he only plays a little bit and stays up all night at a home story cup.
And still defeats Bomber.
Yeah, I mean,
in that kind of environment.
Just casually beating Bomber at a tournament, no dramas. I mean, we can all do that, right?
Of course.
So yeah, I mean,
it's pretty crazy, man.
It is, and it looks like Game 2 is about to begin, guys. Very, very excited. I'm just, like I said, I feel like this is going to go to 5 games. These guys are so evenly matched, and friends as well, so no doubt have played together quite a bit in the history of StarCraft. In the bottom left here on Orbital Shipyard from Team Millennium, this is Dayshi.
Good job on that last map, taking a really, really close game there. And up in the top right, in the blue, the Protoss player, it is PtitDrogo.
That's right. I feel like Dayshi also has that swagger edge with that insanely sexy leather jacket that he's rocking there in that booth.
You got to look good to play good.
Exactly.
You know, that's what I always say. So
look good to play good, more GG, more skill. All those things are 100% convincing. That they are facts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. White Rye actually coming down to the event for sure. Can't wait to see him. Haven't seen him just yet.
Yeah, really?
I've seen him in person before, and we've hung out. But I mean, at this specific event, I want to say hello.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Gives good hugs.
Yeah, he does. Squeeze the life out of you.
Quite literally. Seems like a lot of Eastern European guys are just unfathomably strong for no reason.
Yeah.
We see that Drogo is going for a scout here, dropped his gateway immediately, and so with this game already different from the first game where Dayshi's not being a cheeky sausage. He's just taking things easy here and he's going for a very standard Terran opener.
No more of that cheeky sausagery. Glad to see it.
Sausagery. Yeah.
Now we may go into more of a standard game here.
Mm-hmm. C's completely gasless. Dayshi getting that quick, really, really quick second CC. And this is getting a bit more popular in TvP. So, I mean, obviously, Reaper Expand was all the rage for a lot of Legacy of the Void. And, the old gasless is coming back, harkening back to the early days of Heart of the Swarm and even Wings of Liberty.
Yeah. Of course, going to get a couple of Marines out here just to rule the front of the base and then eventually get that gas. Dayshi's sending out his own scout here a little bit later, knows that there's going to be nothing really to push him out of the base, so keeping that SCV in the base for a little bit longer.
That's right. You want to wait a little bit before you go out there and see what's up because, you want to see the juicy structures get to drop here, the tech paths and that sort of thing, and whether there's a second Nexus or if he's going for a quick third or anything like that, anything crazy. I mean, not on this map, I'd be very surprised to see a quick third on this one, but see that Drogo is perhaps positioning to look like that, but anyway, 3 barracks is coming up here for Dayshi. So
yeah, after that last game, I wouldn't be surprised if PtitDrogo was like, okay, I just want to make sure you're not doing that again or something weird like that. I mean, he did get the scout on the extra CC, but getting a nice little scout all around his base just to make sure that nothing weird is going on here.
That's right. Stargate going down to the backhand, and this time Dayshi is unaware of it, so perhaps could be caught unawares if the Oracle comes a knocking. But I feel like most Terrans are sort of blindly preparing for that sort of thing. They'll ball their Marines and Mineral Lines and that sort of thing. So Dayshi just macroing back at home. He's got his 3 racks up. He's got the reactor first and then going for the tech left. So his upgrade's not too far away. And we'll just have to see what Drogo gets out of this Stargate. Like I mentioned in the first game, some Protosses still like to go Phoenix with the Adepts as well. It has been working out. But whether or not this is Drogo's style, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, have yet to see here, really, based on what I saw just watching some of his VODs. Definitely a pretty standard player, not one to really all-in you or just go crazy on you, really try to end the game too quickly. Definitely very confident in his own skills, We do have a bit of an interesting build here from Dayshi, getting a pretty fast 3rd CC on the way. Is going to delay that engineering bay here, but with the 3 racks, he will have enough Marines here to
he's gonna have a ton of
push
Marines.
away that Oracle.
2nd Tech Lab probably on the way soon as well for the combat shield along with that stem. So it's very, very heavy Marine here. And we see that Drogo has dropped those extra gateways, and the Oracle is heading across the map for some damage, dropping that 3rd Nexus behind that as well. Scan from Dayshi, see what's up. That's right. With the Frenchman, I have to try my best to speak that language. You know how it is.
Speak at their level, yeah. Getting a nice scan down there. I think he did see the Twilight Council and the rope.
Oh, no, he didn't see the Twilight Council. Oh.
Yeah, but I think he did see the probe getting over there. Oracle now in the base. You can see just how many Marines there are waiting and ready.
That turret was perfectly timed as well. So Dayshi reading Drogo like a book here and shutting down that Oracle harass completely. See that Drogo is the guy to go with Game 1 and Game 2 as well, looking like he's going to go for Blink. Stalker's being warped in, so that kind of solidifies what he's going for here.
Yeah, he's coming over here now, trying to find some more damage. Does get 1 kill.
Yeah, delaying the gas a little bit. I mean, it's, it counts as damage, but it's only very, very minuscule here.
But the Oracle, we always talk about the Oracles in terms of what they can do. Even if they don't get that damage, it's great for putting down stasis wards. You can get nice tags down onto the army. You can go in and scout. Even if it's a very fast unit. With the Oracle, even though he didn't get that much damage, he scouted the 3rd CC and all the production of Dayshi. So he knows exactly what's going on in that base.
It's an incredible utility unit for sure. I mean, many Protoss, when they go for Stargate Tech, will use pretty much Revelation for the whole game. Like drop the tag, Medivacs tag the bio army of the Terran and be completely aware of their positioning. See that Dayshi's ready for that 3rd. Too many Marines. Oracle doesn't want to pick that fight.
Yeah, not this time around, but still, just swooping in, getting a nice scout. Is going to get out some observers just in case, can litter them around the base here as well. Did scout the 3rd base coming out here. He's going to go for double forge here, an interesting placement at the 3rd base.
So like you mentioned, Drogo being a macro player and not a standard Protoss, I guess, he's not afraid of the late game, and that's definitely what he's showing us here with this double forge going down. He is ready for a long one here against his fellow Frenchman, Dayshi.
Yeah, definitely looking to get ahead in terms of those upgrades. We did see, I think it was just 1 engineering bay the last time around from Dayshi, so if we can get double upgrades coming out from PtitDrogo, and he does get away with it, once we do get to that late game, is going to have a massively strong army.
Now, with the robotics bay coming down here, is this going to be Colossus, or will it be Disruptor play from PtitDrogo? It's kind of weird. This is the only matchup when you see that structure go down, you're like, it could be actually a Colossus, even though we don't see that unit much anymore. And there's a Revelation there from Drogo tagging like pretty much the entire army of Dayshi, but
yeah,
at least he gets an Oracle. He gets an observer there for his troubles, which is nice.
Yeah, but I love that you're pointing that out because it was all about disruptors first. When it first came out here, essentially,
it still kind of is. It's an incredibly good structure.
But people are beginning to realize, like, hey, Colossi, if you add them into your army and you get enough, Terrans really just don't build that many Vikings anymore. They've got some Liberators in there, but they don't have that mass Viking that you used to see in Wings and in Heart of the Swarm. So you can really get away with it if you get enough Colossi.
Liberator's air damage is quite awful. In fact, the Liberator would prefer to fight with their freedom zones against the Colossus. Forget their air damage. It is no good. I mean, unless it's a flock of mutas or something. But at this point, we're going to be seeing Colossus coming down here for PtitDrogo with a double forge as well, and charge lots on the way. This is going to be a scary army on the way for both players. Married up with their harvesters, 65 and 67, very, very close on the income there. And Dayshi heading across the map for a bit of pressure.
You could tell that Drogo was thinking about that 4th base, but the Oracle gives him enough information to say, hey, Dayshi's moving out. Maybe I should delay that. Maybe I need some more units to come out here to defend this push.
He has a lot of Stalkers here with Blink and Immortal and Guardian Shield with that Colossus. Dayshi might think he might have enough here. He's going to stem in. He has a nice concave.
He's got a really nice concave, and 1-1 is not yet done. Trying to focus down that Colossus. It does get it.
My God, he's actually got a very scary army here. He's taking away the big, juicy, expensive units from Drogo. I don't think he has enough to finish up Drogo's army, but oh man, losing Medivacs here would certainly suck, but he actually gets away with it. Wow.
Really nice moves by Dayshi to fly over the hole in the map.
Oh,
and at the same time, these Marines.
He's going to get some probe kills as well. Nice.
Yeah, he's going to get 4 probe kills for his trouble, so snipes the Colossus, gets the Immortal, the Sentry, all the important units. I think he got everything except the Stalkers. And then he just backs off and he saves all the Medivacs.
Yeah,
it's huge.
And the huge gas sinks were the Immortal, the Colossus, and the Sentry. So
exactly.
Very expensive units to be taken out here. Oracle once again looking for damage. she hasn't pulled her weight yet. Actually, the revelation tags have been nice though.
Yeah, it's going to delay that extra CC coming along. And does look like there's some Vikings being slowly produced here, 2 at a time. As Dayshi has identified exactly what kind of composition PtitDrogo does want to go into here.
So Drogo's heading up for the Supreme late game here, which is the Templar Archives coming down, so he's going to be ready for Storms and Archons and stuff, so, okay.
Have a bit of a pause here.
Yeah.
Seems like the players may be getting some lag, but we should get into that game once again pretty soon. Should be easy to fix.
Yeah, I mean, the internet's pretty good here.
Yeah.
On my super underprivileged Australian internet that I'm used to, when I saw the client download here at this venue, it was
11 megabytes. You must have been really happy with that one.
I'm pretty sure I vomited a rainbow. Quite sure that's exactly what happened when I saw that download speed. So,
yeah. Well, Dayshi looking a little bit jittery in the booth. Wants to definitely getting back into this game.
He's chill, man. He's chill. Yeah. He's having a bit of a giggle. He's having a laugh.
He must be pretty happy about his position, though, in this one. I mean, he has taken so many just of these high-tech units out of the army. He's going for another follow-up push here, it looks like.
So one thing that I've pretty much only seen Dayshi do, and a couple Korean players as well, where he knows that his engagement is about to go badly, so he'll break off like 3 or 4 Marines. Like he did it in Game 1 as well. He'll just break off 3 or 4 Marines and just go straight for a mineral line.
Yeah.
And the Protoss is always going to be chasing the medevacs. They're always going to be after those big juicy units. And indeed, Drogo sent all his army after those medevacs, and he's still got 3 or 4 probes through his trouble. So this is it's not a game ending. It's not critical, but it's just a nice little thing that I've noticed here from Dayshi. I'm going to steal it for sure.
Yeah, we have another tag on these units. So looks like PtitDrogo wants to snipe some of these units before the main fight goes down.
Yeah, it does indeed. Second Colossus coming to join the party here, and Dayshi needs to really sort of take this engagement very, very well, because he hasn't got that juicy concave, and he doesn't have a huge amount of bio, and really doesn't want to be too far away from the Liberators either. This is getting pretty scary for as far as army goes for PtitDrogo. He's nearly got all the money units that he needs.
Yeah, I like the idea from Dayshi to move out there and try to take a fight. I think he did have the advantage, but the way that look at this, another 2 medevacs do go down.
Yeah, and that's actually, obviously when you're a bio Terran, you're taking out those medevacs, the units are very, very, very easy to deal with as a Protoss, and he does actually push forward. A reinforcement from Dayshi though from the left. Catches Drogo unawares, and he loses a whole bunch of his army.
That was just huge. PtitDrogo did not see that coming, maybe underestimating the income right now.
I can't believe a Viking just caught an Oracle.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and that's 4th Nexus. I mean, Dayshi doesn't want to get too ahead of himself here, doesn't want to get a boner, he's going to take it easy. He knows he's in a really good spot here with these trades that have been going well for him pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, I think all he's got to do here is regroup. He's going to have 2-2 to match the 2-2 of PtitDrogo, and he should be flying pretty here.
Yeah, and here are the money units for the Protoss. The Supreme Late Game army I was talking about, it is here. The Archons are coming through. Templars are going to be warped in shortly as well as that Storm starts to finish. And a bit of Liberator harass here from Dayshi.
Well, this is cute. Just coming in, trying to get some damage down.
And not too much.
Even snipes a Stalker. But definitely going to be used a little bit better. But trying to distract PtitDrogo here.
That's right. Plenty of Vikings in the sky here. Mothership Core evaporates, and so does the Colossus.
And all these Zealots is being kited so well. They're getting 0 damage done. Dayshi fighting outside the range of the overcharge at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the Archons are starting to melt as well. The Widowmine's being pulled back. The Archon's very, very softened here. And once the Zealots are gone, I feel like Dayshi can stim in and do a lot more damage.
Yeah, and he's got enough energy, it seems, at this point. The Vikings not doing all too much after getting the Colossi, but they did their job. Now the probes being pulled.
Probes getting pulled. That's never a good sign, but Drogo does put him back to work. The units are starting to get low. Medevac energy a bit low. Will he hold here? It's looking like he will.
Yeah, looks like he will just barely, but we do have another...
Oh, Medevac snipes.
Yeah, Medevac snipes. He's getting all those. We do have a big chunk of units, though, coming across the map. Maybe able to snipe this Colossus.
An EMP there on the Stalkers. Not the most amazing EMPs in the world, but he does actually maybe get... Yeah, he's going to get the Colossus. It's so close.
Oh, he just barely gets it. Another huge warp-in, though. And it looks like Dayshi is going to lose all of these units after sniping that Colossus.
And those ghosts are very expensive there, and their EMPs weren't super useful, but yeah. At least Drogo survives for now. He holds the Dayshi flood, as it were, as he did a lot of pressure there on that fourth Nexus. But we see that Dayshi's getting his 4th CC down as well. It's only just being upgraded to a planetary, and Dayshi's about to take a pretty nice upgrade advantage here with +3 about to finish as Drogo's is a little bit away here.
Yeah, we do have an extra robotics facility coming along here. Wants to reinforce, maybe go for double Colossi, or maybe even add in some disruptors, try to throw it off Dayshi.
Picking up from Marauder here. Nice little move there from Drogo as he blinks away.
Oh, look at this, coming in the side door.
There's a bunch of ghosts here.
Yeah, here's Dayshi.
That's right, he's going straight for that probe line, and Drogo really just has to let him take it for now because he doesn't have enough units to fight this. He does come through with some charge lots, but they have been EMP'd, and the Colossus is coming in, but that's going to die as well. Oh,
just barely survives with 2
hit
health.
points.
He needs to go in and
There's
get
that last Marauder shot, does get the Colossus. And actually with a flank here of Stalkers at the back, he could potentially get some full medevacs here. Oh!
One more hit, and it
There
goes
it is.
down. And there you go, a full medevac. He has to be careful about those Widow Mines.
Yeah,
I hope he knows about them.
Well, without the Stalker, without an Observer, I guess, the Stalkers are about to take a nice chunk here. Oh! Production, please.
It looks like he took one of them at least.
Yeah, at least a couple.
Yeah. But Dayshi not stopping just yet. He does have that +3 attack. The Widow Mines have not been cleaned up. There is no detection over here for PtitDrogo.
Yeah, and once again, like when Dayshi decides it's time to attack, he just does not quit. And he's been taking, the trades for Drogo have been pretty decent, but Dayshi has been managed, like, his macro is incredible. He's been pushing forward here, and this is the kind of move you need to do as a Protoss. But hold that thought. Another engagement here at the 4th Nexus. Desperately wants that Nexus kill. If he can get that Nexus kill, that's going to be huge for Dayshi.
And it looks like everything's been cleaned up at the main, and look at this, just getting a really nice concave. Not that many units here for PtitDrogo. Trying to focus down that Colossus, just barely going to get it.
He does indeed. Loses a lot of that bio. Oh, the Stalker's getting a little bit fresh there with those liberation zones. Too much freedom.
Getting a little bit too cocky there. Is going to eventually kill that Widow Mine. And again, you were talking about the small group of Marines that likes to get really cheeky in the back door of the mineral line.
Oh, and he killed the Observer as well, so potentially mind play could be annoying here. But look at that. Once again, the army supply advantage for Dayshi is astronomical. It's 60 supply.
Yeah, after that last fight, I don't know, man. He's just getting way, way too far ahead. We are going to have 3-3 finishing up here in just a second for Drogo, though.
Yeah, he's equal the upgrades with Dayshi at this point, and Dayshi is trying to engage here. The Archon's very, very scary, but look how much bio's on the floor here, Valdez.
Just way too much stuff.
Way too much, and he's targeting down the Colossus again. The Archon's evaporating, and this is looking really bad for Drogo here.
Just pushing in, and there's just not enough units. GG.
GG. Dayshi taking a 2-0. I might be looking like a fool with my 3-2 prediction there, man.
Calling it too close, I suppose. Dayshi showed up to play today, Maynard.
Absolutely, and he is on fire.
Yeah, he was looking confident when we talked to him before, but oh boy, it really does show when we do get into the games. Drogo's going to have to win 3 in a row if he doesn't want to get knocked out here in the round of 32.
And once again, we have to embellish, guys. For all you Drogo fans out there, you're going to have to be making some social media and Twitch chat noise for this kid because he needs all of your energy. Make a spirit ball for him because if he loses this next game, he's actually going to be
out, no
out
money,
of the tournament,
goes
no money,
home.
no points.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a crazy position for someone now down 0-2. But we'll see if he can do it.
That's right. Before we go into game number 3, we might check over with the desk quickly and see how the other games are going.
Thank you very much, Maynard. Nathanius, our reporter, you've been watching Pulp versus Lambo. How's it going?
Oh, it's great. They're actually just getting into game number 3 now. The series is currently tied 1 apiece.
Wow.
For all you Captain America fans out there, Pult was able to actually stage a bit of a comeback in game number 1. Lambo was actually in a really good spot with a Roach Ravager play. But game number 2, Pult tried to play a little bit more conservatively, faster third base, and Lambo just rolled over him. So he managed to bring things back. They're playing on Layer-like Crest now.
Yeah.
We've seen some Marine tank basically versus Roach Ravager in this matchup.
Hoping Polk can make future President Donald Trump proud.
But good from Lambo that he's been able to take a game of Pult. That's obviously going to be very good for his confidence. The Muslim, Drogo, though, struggling.
Drogo is indeed struggling. Like, yeah, he's one of the players that he definitely benefited from last patch where Protoss was a lot stronger against Terran. Like,
so you're calling patch toss?
Not quite a patch toss because he was super good in the other matchups, you know. But PBT always slowed him down, always slowed down Drogo. And Dayshi, I even talked about it before. He's the guy that's actually practicing a bucket ton, like right now.
A bucket ton.
A bucket ton.
Yeah, bucket.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of buckets.
All right, thank you very much, reporter Nathanius and the Muslim. We're going to go back to the casters to get right back into Dayshi versus Drogo.
That's right, game number 3 is about to begin. Thank you very much, Desk. And we have, speaking of a bucket ton, that is how many games we've got today.
Jeez, man. Wow, you really like that
I
terminology.
love the way he said that. Yeah, just a bucket ton of trouble here.
Yeah.
Or rather, a bucket ton of games that Dayshi's been playing. It really does show, man. This is looking to become a little bit of a stomp here. And I know these two guys are friends. They're both from France. It's really the matchup of the two French guys here, but Dayshi showed up today. That's all I'm going to say.
They look like they're really close to a point. There's like a mid-game to late game. I mean, we didn't even see late game in game number 1, but in game number 2, it just looks like the steamroller that is Dayshi, Millennium's Dayshi, just starts to kick into gear. His 8-cylinder engine begins, and it's just pain time for poor Drogo here.
Yeah.
See on camera, he's really got to pull his socks up and get his head in the game if he wants to win the next 3.
Dayshi really reminding me of a lot of Korean Terrans in the past, just the non-stop just reinforcements coming across the map. Just the rally play, it just never stops, and the pressure just never, ever stops. And it's not even like he's dropping in the back door or going for production or anything. He's just attacking the front, which generally you don't usually want to do against that kind of late-game Protoss army, but he keeps chipping away, getting one Colossus, one Archon, this and that, and it's working out for
Another
him.
amazing thing as well, which is something that I always feel, I always feel like I'm not a pro player or anything. I perish the thought.
Really, man?
Really?
I thought you were.
Oh, my God.
You've been fooling me this whole time.
Oh, I guess I'm fired. But before I get escorted out of the building, it's really interesting to see Dayshi win these games without drops. He's just been straight up on the ground here. And speaking of, in the north position here of Dust Towers from Millennium Gaming, this is Dayshi.
Looking really calm in that booth now. Obviously very confident.
And that is a death
coming into
stare
game
there.
number 3. And in the bottom left, in the blue, the Protoss player, it is PtitDrogo.
That's right. The DreamHack Leipzig champion. Will he get 3-0 today? He's the #1 points holder, Valdez.
Yeah, that would be a crazy story. The first series we got here on the stream goes down 3-0 if he loses this one.
So WCS, that's the point leader going down after winning a championship so recently. But like he mentioned in his very colorful interview before the series started, that the patch really did hit him a lot.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, he did also have a bit of trouble qualifying into this. Had to go into that tiebreaker with Bly and Zanster, just barely winning that, and he eventually did make it through, but
this is actually the cheese timing. Good luck, have fun. I feel like Drogo trying
was a little bit delayed. That was
he's trying to get into his Dayshi's head a little bit here. He's like wakes 5 minutes before dropping the good luck and fun. But,
waits until they're on 3 bases, says good luck, have fun. It doesn't make any sense.
Says it mid-game during an engagement.
Trying to get him to respond mid-engagement.
Oh, wow. I'd be triggered. Be pretty triggered.
Oh, yeah.
So you see that both players are, nothing crazy in this game. It's not game 1 again, even though it is, a 2-player map where these are generally the maps where you see a little bit of shenaniganry because you know the spawn position of your opponent and you can drop your proxies and be really cheeky. But both players are quite standard opening. Nothing really to report here as different or strange.
Brian Terrace is definitely the map for the shenanigans, especially with the gold base if you're natural. You can really throw other players off by going ultra aggressive. But this time, I think Dayshi, I love what he's doing, really just not going for anything cheesy, weird. He's just playing very standard.
We were just mentioning cheese and weirdness and nothing to report, but this Proxy Stargate here from PtitDrogo could potentially be the cheeky play that he needs to start getting a map on the board here against Dayshi. He absolutely needs to win this game to stay alive in this tournament.
Yeah, Dayshi here going for a nice extended scout with that SCV. Did go into the 3rd base.
Same build order as game 2.
Yeah, I think he's going to wait maybe until some units are out on the map and then try to sneak into the main. And if you can notice that there aren't a lot of buildings there in terms of production, he will have some understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously has no Reapers. He opened just with straight Marines, so I feel like he's not going to know about the Stargate for a really long time. But that said, though, a lot of Terrans do pull their units into the mineral line. He could at least mitigate the damage of this Oracle, which is coming out now for Drogo. But I mean, you're not going. He has 3 racks back at home as well. But that said, I mean, the 3 Marines here of Dayshi are not in mineral lines, so.
And look at this, he went for 3 add-ons as well, so really delaying the production of the Marines that are coming out here. He's going to have 4 at a time, potentially, But the Oracle is about to be done. This is a very fast Oracle out of Drogo, and this could definitely get a lot of damage, especially if those Marines are not in position.
And he's taking a third Nexus behind this, so I feel like if he catches Dayshi unaware here, Drogo's going to be in an amazing position. Oh, he's waiting for a second Oracle. This is like when one Oracle engages SCVs, 2 Oracles engage everything.
Yeah, and I've actually seen this before where you go for 3 Oracles and try to just straight go head on with all the Marines.
Disgusting.
If you can get them out fast enough, I know all you Terran players out there are puking right now, but it is a very powerful build. I'm not sure if he's going to wait for 3, but let's see what he does once the second one comes out here.
That's right. And the second one is out, and it's, yeah, he's going to go in with 2 here. So, I mean, Dayshi, like you said, he has the ability to produce 4 Marines at once, now that his add-ons are finished. And they are in position, but I feel, he's splitting up the Marines. I think 2 Oracles can actually engage that army on the left.
And the turret is not yet done. It's slowly getting there. It's about to complete, but here are 2 Oracles.
Yeah, and the turret is about to finish, but they can actually burn it down. The SCV is desperately trying to repair here, and they do get it. And that's bad news for Drogo. He's actually skirting near the Marine ball to take it very easy here. Only 2 SCV kills for those 2 Oracles, and he's shown his hand to Dayshi now.
And, wow, there's no turret here in the main, but he's got enough Marines, and, yeah, I'm not sure if he should have gone for that turret. It was extremely close, and had he bursted down, possibly he would have gotten a lot of kills, but I feel like going for just the straight-up SCVs there may have been the better choice. He had 2 Oracles in the back with no turret, no Marines ready.
Yeah.
And, oh boy.
Well, the one thing going for him here is that he does have 3 Nexus up, and he can prompt out 3 probes at a time, which is fantastic with the Chrono Boost as well. You see, look at the harvested difference there. Quite huge at this point of the game. And he's coming in with the Oracles again. The softer one getting targeted down by the turret cannot take one more volley. He needs to get out of there.
Yeah, this is the thing about this kind of build. If you have enough pressure, and 2 Oracles is perfect for this. If you have enough pressure to put on, you will keep the Terran in his base for a long time. We saw this a lot from Protoss's over in Korea. They go for DT expand, go for a very fast third base because the Terrans are having so much trouble dealing with the 1 DT. Same thing here with 2 Oracles.
And 2 Oracles coming in. There is a turret up in the main now, so what comes out of the production facilities can actually deal with the Oracles. One gets picked off there. And the big news here is that this 2 medevac pressure here from Dayshi has quite a few units in it. I don't know if he wants to go for the main.
Yeah, but kind of unfortunate. PtitDrogo has scouted him out here. Well. He's got a lot of units, and he does have the stim and the combat shields. He's coming in here and just going for a big trade.
Yep, kills the sentry, no more Guardian Shield, and gets out of there, scared of that mothership core. I don't even think there was a pylon nearby there, but you definitely don't want to be too close when that thing gets off there.
Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate that Dayshi actually revealed the 2 drops, because I'm not sure that he definitely didn't see with the Oracles, that is, the drops that were coming out.
And look at that 3rd CC from Dayshi. It is so late here, and with Drogo already having his 3rd Nexus for what feels like already 5 minutes, he has an incredible supply, income advantage is what I'm trying to say here. He has a huge infrastructure at the moment back at home. Look at that income difference.
Yeah, and Dayshi does know about this. I'm not sure if he knows the exact timing of the Nexus, but he knows this kind of build where you put on a lot of pressure and you get that 3rd Nexus up very fast. So he knows that he has to catch up, and this is how he's going to try to do it. He's going to try to get drops in the back door, maybe drop 2 places at the same time. He's got another drop coming out of the main right now.
Well said, Valdez. Is exactly what's happening here. There's a drop. He absolutely needs to kill probes here. That little army there is going to be cleaned up for sure, but he is evacuating the probe line here of the back natural.
Yeah, not going for the main at the same time. He's going for that Nexus. That's a lot of Terran units, but
I don't know if he has enough units to do that. Oh, 1 medevac gets picked up there by the overcharge. Actually, the Nexus is getting very, very low. Oh, he's going to get it, Valdez. Huge pick off there from Dayshi, and that's going to start to even things up as this game goes forward and his 3rd CC drops.
That's an unbelievable pick off there, and he gets away with the almost full medevac, so he's not done yet. He's still got the entire map to himself, and now he's going to be up a base. That was a huge play by Dayshi.
Yeah, an extra 20 probes, but only 2 Nexuses to mine off of. Drogo's got a pretty scary army here, does see this medevac. He has plenty of photon overcharges for that one as it drops. Medevac goes down, and the mines go down as well. Huge defense there from Drogo.
Yeah, just, I suppose, did not notice the Mothership Core and the Oracle in position. Is going to try to drop into the 3rd base now, just trying to get whatever damage he can.
Yeah, killing more probes here. Any econ damage you can do is nice because he has had the deficit for so long, but look at the supply difference. Drogo still has quite a few more probes and army than Dayshi, but he is just pulling him. He's like spreading him thinly here, trying to pull his army apart in multiple spots here.
Even just those 2 Marines able to get 3 probe kills in the back door.
And look at that, Dayshi now taking the income advantage with those mules.
as they start to die off.
Yeah, and he hasn't even taken this third base just yet.
Just
He's going to
dropped
take it right now.
So late.
And the Nexus in the back door for Drogo is about to complete, and he's going to try to take a fourth base at the same time.
No fear. The balls on this kid, dropping a fourth Nexus. So he's going for Colossus Tech again. And Thermal Lance on the way, double Forge again. So this is just, I feel like this is just Drogo's comfort zone here. To have that later game, to force it out, and just lock things down back at home as he gets his Death Ball going on. It's a very old, like, early Heart of the Swarm way to play Protoss, but with the new units, I mean, the Adepts definitely quite nice, and he is getting Resonating Glaives there for the extra attack speed for those Adepts. Uh-oh, there's a bunch of Marauders. That's not an engagement these Stalkers really want to trade with right now.
Yeah, Drogo kind of funny just walking over the two Widow Mines, taking a bunch of damage, and then just sitting there. But I think he was trying to get out of the map, as we've been seeing him do every single game. Just try to trade with the Terran before the official engagement, the big engagement, does go down. Just try to snipe some units that he can. He's going to do it now with the Widow Mines.
That he's getting Widow Mines. And blinking away. So cleaning up this proxy Stargate, I mean, it hasn't really been a factor for quite a while here, but it's always nice to not have to worry about that anymore. +2 nearly done here for Dayshi's attack units, but you see that Drogo is actually getting double upgrades instead of just the one. So as the game goes longer, that's going to be advantage Drogo as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually getting stormed quite a lot faster as well, and I imagine that's because of his really quick third Nexus in this game and not taking, I mean, he lost a Nexus there, but he already had so many probes left over that as soon as he remade it, it's just, look at that. He's still, his income advantage is still present.
He didn't lose all that many probes, and I'm really loving his position now because Dayshi has really reeled back the aggression. He's not doing what he did in the first couple of games. He hasn't been sniping Colossi, Archons, anything really. He's now just playing into Drogo's macro game, and Drogo I think is going to be very comfortable with tons of Colossi, multiple Storms coming out once that does get researched. And the 2-2 you were talking about.
Yeah, Dayshi hasn't actually had a favorable engagement against Drogo's army, but he hasn't actually hit or clashed with it too many times. He's mainly been harassing. Both players just trying to harass each other to death in the early to mid game as Dayshi gears up for his fourth base and locking things down with the Freedom Zones and that attack warpath there for Drogo. He's actually going to see the CC and take it down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Dayshi really needs to get in position if he wants to hold this. If Drogo getting a nice position on the higher ground, that fourth base is not getting up here.
Yep, see you later. There is another there's a fourth CC floating over to the closer position though. So not all doom and gloom here for Dayshi.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the easier one to take. Just given Drogo's activeness out on the map, he's done a really nice job of denying that other fourth base. But
this looks like I think it might be a pure Marauder drop here. Okay, so Marauders and Mines there. A cluster of anti-Protoss is what that is.
Yeah. So we do have, it looks like Drogo's setting up possibly for a surround of some sorts.
Yeah,
maybe with the...
it looked like he wanted to do a flank here with the Templar, but they, finding themselves very expensive and important to his army and rejoining the support of that Death Ball.
He's going to fly
here.
right over that, yeah. That knowledge is just the most important thing right now for Dayshi. He knows there's a War Prism out on the map. There could be High Templar in there. He has seen the High Templar in the army.
Yeah, he already has Ghosts out, though. He's been producing them for the past couple, so minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. So he's got a really reasonably decent Ghost count on the way. 3-2 on the way here for Dayshi. And starting to catch up or even take a lead in the upgrades.
Yeah. Now one Lone Liberator trying to come over here, deny some mining.
He's waiting for a Nexus and a probe.
That's not the right base, Liberator.
That's all right. It's going to reposition itself here. Unfortunately, that's a lot of Blink Stalkers. He's going to be very, very careful.
Now let's see what kind of damage he can get done. The Stalker's actually not going the correct direction at first, but Liberator's still out on the map. We do have, at the same time, let's see if he can blink in here and stop this. Yeah, it should be easy.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, back at home...
Storm drop.
Yeah, we do have a Storm drop coming in here to that third base.
Oh, and there's nothing here from Dayshi. There's going to be a lot of SCV kills.
There it goes. Just nothing to deal with it.
8 kills for 2 Storms. That's so nice there as a Protoss player. And Dayshi feels like he's got enough to get the job done here. Moving across the map. Plenty in the sky. Lots of Vikings for the Colossus. Big Storms going down from Drogo, and he walks through them a little bit there.
Yeah, kind of hesitating. He's going for the EMPs here. He gets a really nice one on all of those High Templar. Only one left over.
Lovely EMPs, and there's only probably 2 Storms left, I feel like, on that one Templar at the back. Missed EMP there from Dayshi.
Trying to come up here and get those Storms. Now the Liberation Zone's coming down.
That's right. And the Protoss really cannot engage in that. The Vikings taking a lot of damage here. Still plenty left at the back there for Dayshi. And He's starting to pressure Drogo back onto the high ground. Oh, taking out that energy in Templar with a couple Marauders.
Yeah, I think that was at least one Storm. A big blink underneath the Liberators. He's going to get all of them.
It's so hard to decide whether you blink or don't blink under that many Liberators, and he does. Loses a lot of his Stalkers there. Dayshi with a pretty nice army coming up the ramp here. He feels like he can engage this. The Colossus is gone. Just Immortals, Adepts, and Stalkers left.
There's not enough AoE here for the Protoss. We got a really nice concave. The Widowmine's now trying to join in here. It looks like Dayshi is going to have to pull back, but the Widowmine's getting some nice hits.
Does indeed. Dayshi doesn't have a huge reinforcement here in position, and PtitDrogo actually has Tempest joining the field now as well. Feedback's on a very high energy. Medevac takes that down, and he's pressing Dayshi back.
Yeah, those Medevacs have to get out of there ASAP, and he really does need to regroup. It was looking a little bit scary there for Drogo, but he had a big Tempest switch on the way.
I mean, it's just shield damage and a little bit of hull damage, not too bad, but still annoying.
Yeah, Widowmine's now trying to get cheeky, get into that mineral line and maybe get some damage done.
Gets that mine, so yeah, I mean, with these Tempests coming out, it's going to be tougher and tougher for Dayshi to have those Liberators and even Medevacs on the field here. If he can get those Oracle tags, then he's going to be in a pretty lovely spot. You see he is starting to drop some static defense and gear up for that late game. Drogo is feeling like he's got this. He's got his upgrades are looking good. He's got plenty of production. Starting the Oracles as we expected here to get those the Revelations down on the Terran army so he can snipe them with the Tempests.
Yeah, and I love the timing of the Dark Shrine as well. He's going to be bringing that into drops, and even just defending drops like this, you know, one High Templar isn't going to be enough, and this is a lot of bio, actually. Could even focus down that Nexus.
He could actually engage the Gateway units and then kill the Nexus. The army of Drogo is away here, and it's just starting to come up now.
Looks like he's just going for the probes. There was a big transfer, and 10 probes go down.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of probes there. It's almost better than killing a Nexus, getting that many probes. And this Medevac is taken out for his troubles as well, so... Yeah, it's kind of hard to say if that was worth it or not from Dayshi. I mean, well, I guess it would be at this point. Is all about that late game.
The only thing I would rather see him do is maybe drop at the same time into the main or into the third base even, just try to get some more damage and pull that Protoss apart.
So the Dark Shrine is actually nearly finished here for Drogo, and that's a unit that's kind of appears in the late game. If you haven't opened with the Dark Shrine, you see it in the late game, and it's just with the Warp Prism can be very detrimental to a Terran's health as the games go later and you get stretched thin. I mean, it's Legacy of the Void's that expansion. That's a lot more like Brood War. You see a lot more bases and a lot of harassment and that sort of play. And that is a nuke, Valdez.
There's a nuke coming down. I don't know if Drogo would have expected this.
I mean, he's gonna get a Templar, and maybe some probes on the left, but yeah, he kills that Ghost. Wow, no fun for us. The nuke does get denied.
We had a little bit of fun, but look at this. He pulled the entire army out of position. Is gonna snipe that Nexus finally.
Yeah, pretty big pick off there. The Liberators coming in, but they are very softened, and they're getting pulled apart very quickly. There's a huge Viking count in the sky here, and the Storms are softening up, but they are getting rid of the Tempests.
Finally, the Storm's coming in here. I'm not sure if these Vikings are going to be able to clean up everything, just barely getting that second to last Tempest.
Storm's going down there on Dayshi's army, but it does still live. Plenty of medevac energy, and he's stimming up for more probe kills, but Drogo is in position. One more Storm to seal the deal here, and that is gone.
Drogo in position.
Drogo.
That is true, Maynard. I love it. But I love the fact that Dayshi actually engaged there. He took out a lot of the Tempest in the sky. It's going to take a very long time for PtitDrogo to get that back up, especially after losing that base to the top. Just getting that snipe and then trading after, I feel like, was a really nice turn of events there for Dayshi.
Well, at this point, I mean, apart from the fact that we're seeing nukes, with the Liberators really not being useful anymore now that there's a Tempest, this is starting to look kind of like a Heart of the Swarm game here. How about this?
It definitely is. Kind of funny how we've come full circle in only about 3 or 4 months, but I suppose that is the way of the world.
This matchup certainly can end up that way, as you know, with Colossus being pretty much only welcome in this matchup. You won't see it come out of from Protoss against Zerg or even in PvP. It's all about that disruptor.
Yeah. We did have the 3-3 just finish up here for Drogo. We did have Dayshi on that for a very long time, not even including +2 ship weapons there. So Dayshi had the big upgrade advantage for about 5-7 minutes of this game, but finally now Drogo has caught up.
Has indeed, so they're at that late game. No forges, no engineering bays needed anymore, and he is looking for a nuke, but unfortunately, I think Drogo saw the shimmer there. Oh, an EMP there on the Templar. taking away a couple storms there.
Yeah, not bad. He's got a nice little ragtag group of units here trying to snipe some stalkers. Yeah. Definitely not going to work out for him there.
Unfortunately. Dayshi now pressing the issue here. Plenty of units, lots of EMPs left on those ghosts. Gets through the Oracle, does get tagged though. So the Tempest is still a little bit of a worry for him. He has so many Vikings with +2 attack.
Dayshi has to be very careful with these ghosts. He's losing way too many of them for free. These stalkers just blinking in and sniping one after the other.
Yeah, walking straight through some big storms there from Drogo, but he does still have plenty of bio left on the ground, and Drogo has to pull all the way back.
He's coming back, a huge storm there. Not that many Vedevacs in the sky. Actually, I don't see a single one, and all this bio is very, very weak. He's committing.
Yeah, and one medevac for all this bio. It is very soft, and you're right, Valdez. So he needs to pick this engagement very, very carefully here. That's a nuke going down there as well, by the way, which is going to kill his own Liberator.
Oh, it actually
gets the Colossus as well. Oh my god. He gets the Colossus, but he loses 3 ghosts and Liberator for it.
I'm not sure it matters at this point. A lot of storms coming down here, but the bio is pushing in. Some desperate warps coming in, but look at this. Some Marines even on the ramp of the 3rd base.
That's right, taking out some of the Adepts there on the low ground of that natural, and he is just engaging Stalkers with Marauders there, and that's always an engagement that Terran wants to see. And let's see, the supply advantage is for Dayshi, and he's starting to pump out those medevacs. And I feel like once they come out, he's going to have a pretty scary army again. It looks like both players have just decimated each other. Like they're back at that low-tech units.
They really have, but I definitely will favor Dayshi in the straight. A lot of his units are very low, though, so he has to back off. But here come the reinforcements.
That's right, Bio is pretty good all game long. There's a GG, and Dayshi takes himself a 3-0 against his fellow Frenchman there, Drogo.
Unbelievable play. I don't even know what to say. Dayshi just came in and swept house, man. I was expecting a victory from Dayshi, but not like this.
I expected a close series. I mean, Game 3 was definitely close.
Especially after Game 1 as well. We were like so back and forth. Either player could have won, but then it just went 3-0. Wow.
There you go. It's the nature of StarCraft. The beautiful and also the scary thing about it is that you can just be gone Game 1 because there can be only one. It's like Highlander up in this.
Yeah, it really is. And now Drogo has to go home. He gets no money, no points, and that's it.
Yeah, he does have a lot still. But anyway, that is our first series of the day, and we're going to cross over to the desk here. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, guys. A 3-0 brutal match there from Dayshi, who, as you said, you thought there might be some shakes from Drogo coming into this. And
I didn't realize there were going to be that bad shakes, though. You know, like in none of those games did he look like he was ever the aggressor or ever could potentially do something that would hurt Dayshi. Like there was one game on Prime Terrace where he got Adepts in the base and killed a lot of the workers, but he never really learned how to deal with the army, and his army composition itself never was one that was fit to deal with the Terran composition either.
Yeah, not the best day here for Drogo.
He was leading on, saying he was a little bit shaky, saying he was having a tough time. Even in that really cool video that they showed before we even had the match, he kind of talked a lot about how he was a little bit mixed up about it, and he had a tough time in the qualifiers. You yourself were mentioning that. So 3-0, certainly surprising in that manner, and all of us except for Demuslim even picked PtitDrogo to win because he is the big European name right now, coming off that DreamHack Championship. We expected more of him. I'm sure he expected more.
Yeah, Nathanius, though, you were watching Port Lambo, and that also finished up almost at the same time this one did.
Oh, man, it was definitely a bit more one-sided after that 1-1 that we started off with. Port just, throughout the rest of it, took out the next 2 games. We did get to see, he played very standard in that 3rd map to go up 2-1, but in the final game on Arena, Port, a man not known for cheesing, busted out the 1 base 3 racks. He had Lambo contained on 1 base. He had to break out of his own main with Roach Ravager, which obviously was a bit difficult to do as Pult switched into Siege Tanks, still on 1 base. But Pult mixed it up, and it was a very decisive way to win, as close as it was. But once he gets enough tanks, it's really hard to break that with Roach Ravager.
So 2 Terrans go through the first 2 games here. Pult.
That is interesting. Cheese from Pult. I mean, he's one of those guys where he's got 1 or 2 builds per matchup, and that's what you see out of him. But to bust out in the round of 32 against Lambo,
he
up
opened
2-1?
He opened pretty much the same way in all of the games except for that last game. Like, I guess on Arena, short rush distance, Pult's like, you know what? Do the thing no one thinks I'm going to do.
Where did he put his barracks? Was it near the watchtower in the middle?
He had no, he didn't do the Lilicanen thing. He had 1 barracks in his main, and he had 2 at the top of his natural. Pult spawned on the top spot of Arena, so they were like, if the Overlord goes to the main ramp, you don't really see unless you go all the way across.
I was about to say, because like if you actually position your 3 barracks in the middle, you can actually shut off that section entirely. So even if your Zerg opponent wants to counter all in, he has to run all the way around the map, or he has to try and break your barracks. Either way, it's not like a good choice.
All right, so 2 Terrans go through. We do have Dayshi, who's on the couch here. We'll be hearing from Port as well, but for now, Dayshi with a 3-0 on Red Eye. He must be feeling pretty good over there, I'm sure.
He hasn't stopped talking about it already. He's so excited, Sean. Yeah. It's, so yeah, welcome to Pro Corner. We do have our first guest of the day, and it is Dayshi.
Hello.
Well done, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great now.
I thought that was going to be it. When I spoke to you yesterday, we had this conversation about this first game being it's a $6,000 game, right? And you were kind of bit, it's so it's so much pressure. It's it's really got to get my head in. And you were kind of like about it. And what's the difference now?
I just think that it's pretty bad overall, but the most important thing for me was to face Drogo, because like one of us don't get anything, and he's French, and we're pretty much friends, so that's why I was sad and talking a lot about it.
Why you didn't dance after you won?
Yeah, I was very happy, but I didn't want to like show him, because obviously.
Okay, so talk us through. I mean, you come into this, I don't know, are you aware of players? I know not all players are aware of their records against other players. Some are, aren't they? Were you aware of your record against Drogo before? Because it was really good. It was 5 wins, 1 loss.
Yeah, I think I have a very good record. And every time it's like important matches that we play, and I've never really lost him. So I was feeling confident once again, but I just didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
All right, first of all, of course, congratulations, man. I can see you're really happy, and it's lovely to see. Let's talk a little bit about the games. Every matchup, just go by it, or every map. The first map was on Prime Terraces. The Muslim mentioned a little bit as well. There was one moment, like, I kind of felt you were in control of the game. The opening was a little bit weird. Why did you go for that weird opening, by the way? What was that all about?
I wanted to stress him out, because it's the best of 5, and first game you just proxy, and then he's just on tilt for every other match.
You said you were going to proxy him to me before as well. You were actually true.
Yeah, I'm not a liar.
I thought you were joking for me, though. I thought you were just messing around.
No, and on Prime I think it's good because the racks on the bottom left you can send 2 scouts, and on top right, well, on this scenario it was a bit weird, but then if you just kill the Nexus and you let the barrack, it denies the goal for a while, etc. So.
Sorry, Kev. How does it change your mentalities? Because you've never played a best of 5 against Drogo before in a big tournament. So how does it change? Is that the change? Is it you can be a bit crazy in game 1?
Yeah. Well, when you play a longer series, obviously you have some room to go for some crazy stuff and play with your opponent's set, so I like it.
I mean, the opening obviously worked for you, but there was one phase in the game where at a certain point adepts were everywhere, and your work account went from probably 55 SCVs to 15, like real quick, Yeah. Was that a moment in the game where you were a little bit worried about it, or were you like, well, I lost all my SCVs, but my army should be good enough to win?
I was worried that he had a force behind that, but since he committed so much army to this, I was like, well, it's a gold map, I don't need that much SCVs anyways, and I'm producing out of 5 racks, and it's still queuing a bit, so I will still have my production, I have a way bigger army, so I just go and push, and yeah, it works well.
The second game you had on Orbital was kind of the never-ending fight, near his fort base. It really seemed like the game was going well for you. You were up in supply. That's always a really good sign for Terran. And the way what I see in PvT, I feel if Protoss is never attacking, they're going to have a very hard time winning the game because they're never on the other side of the map. Did you feel like you were in control of that entire game as well, or was there a moment where you felt like, maybe I overextended a little bit, because obviously Medevacs died, Liberators died, a couple times you right-click on the Colossus, you lost a few too many units?
No, when I was attacking the force like non-stop, I knew that I had won already since a while. When he blinked his Stalker into my army and I had like a bunch of bio on the side, he just lost, I don't know, maybe 1,500 resources there, and at this level it's just game. You just have to make units, rally them, and not fuck up too much.
Focusing on that game, something that the Muslim mentioned multiple times at the desk as well is that he felt that the army composition of Drogo was not really what he needed against your army composition. When you see that many Stalkers, or when you see Adepts instead of maybe Zealots right now, like, did you also feel that that was kind of a weak army composition, or did you feel like, no, it still all came down to execution?
No, it came down to execution. It's just very small details at this level, like the Oracle didn't do much. So he could have done a bit more, like no trap,
Stasis.
Stasis trap, yeah. Yeah, there is a small thing that he could have done better, and that's just what makes the difference, I think.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dayshi, and congratulations. Moving through to round 16 and $6,000 banked already. It's good news.
Yeah. And the port waiting.
Happy. Good. Okay. Well, Dayshi's a very happy bunny, of course. Unfortunately, he's lost his countryman. He has dropped out. Let's find out some more thoughts from our panel with Sean.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. Always good to have you back. I hope you're going to be on that couch all weekend. I think he is until we reach the stage. Yeah, until we reach the stage. Yeah. And then he transfers away from the couch.
He's able to walk.
Oh, man.
He's a land-faring man.
But a good victory for Dayshi, and obviously over the moon with that win. A hard match for him, but I mean, a hard match coming into it thinking that it could be a hard match, I suppose. Not actually a hard match.
Good recovery there, Sean.
I know.
Yeah, like everybody predicted, and even in the Team Liquid ranking, it was Drogo 3rd, I think, on that ranking. Everybody in the panel thought like Drogo was in really good shape, and he just won Leipzig. And it's not as if he hasn't done great things before. Like I remember him coming 2nd at an Asus ROG like a while ago in Finland in Heart of the Swarm. Really, really good player, but Dayshi just had his number. And the style that Dayshi used too, he was always on Drogo. And Drogo, at no point in the game did he look like he knew how to win the game. And Dayshi just didn't give him the time to figure it out either. So really, really clean play by Dayshi.
I think the next opponent will be Pult as well, as you mentioned there, which is going to be a very difficult Terran versus Terran match.
Oh yeah, Pult's got that name. It's always Pult. Every tournament he's in, he's one of the guys that's mentioned there. But it is TvT and Dayshi. We kind of jokingly refer back to it, but I mean he did beat Bomber at a Home Story Cup in suboptimal conditions, and I'm going to say that thing that we say every single tournament in WCS. Pult's not quite the guy he used to be. Remember that mantra we always say every time as he's on his way to top 4 or whatever? Nate, you were believing.
Jeff, I think TvT definitely is like the #1 matchup where, as crazy as it is to play, the person that is like generally more skilled, like there's very few ways you can catch someone off guard. I think that's a really, really tough matchup, I think, for Dayshi.
Okay. All right. Analysis desk to Red Eye. Analysis desk to Red Eye. Are you there? Are you still there?
I'm literally still here.
Are you there, Red Eye?
Literally still here. Commander Red Eye checking in from Houston. Thank you very much from the desk.
Brilliant.
We also have another guest, of course.
Pult, right? He's with you?
We do have Pult over here in the corner, yes.
Commander Pult.
Captain America formerly, of course. Well done, Pult. Congratulations on the 3-1 win against Lambert. I think everyone out there, I'm going to speak for almost everyone in StarCraft land and say that it was kind of expected that you would win this game. But how did you see it? Because I know you've been through some tough times in the last few months and you've been practicing hard. So tell me about how you approached the game to Lambo.
Well, you said it was expected. Well, but I didn't think me losing one game was not expected. Okay. Well, I lost because his timing was really good in the early game, so I lost one game. But after that, I figured what he likes to play and everything, so I was able to counter his play and I was able to win.
What sort of form are you in right now? I mean, you said to ESL on their website that you've been practicing hard, you understand the meta, you've learned what to do better. You're not quite happy with how strong Terran is right now. So how do you prepare for a big event like this?
So from the launch of the Legacy of the Void, I've improved a lot, well as other players, but I think I've done more than other players. Like, I personally think I was faster than other players to figure out the game, how to play out this game. So I'm pretty confident right now, and like as long as my condition's okay, I think I can win this tournament.
Okay, so what about in control then? Are you at a bit higher level or lower level than in control right now?
Well, I think he knows better than me.
Wow. Okay, so Jeff is the all-seeing. He's the oracle of StarCraft right now.
You know, Paul, let's focus a little bit on this tournament. You're going up to Dayshi in the round of 16. How are you looking at that matchup? Is that something that you expected? Did you expect to maybe play TvT? And do you think it's going to go fine for you, or are you a little bit worried about it?
So to be honest, I expected Drogo to win the matchup. But, well, it's just not just like Dayshi's winning it, but it was 3-0. It was totally unexpected. And so I cannot underestimate him. But as long as as far as I know, I'm better than him, so I'll be okay.
You know, this morning I was reading the Team Liquid power rankings, and I was a little bit surprised because I don't know. Did you see the article?
I just saw the rank.
You saw number 5. Bold comment, number 5.
Well, I don't remember who wrote that, but he will soon realize that. Oh, I was totally wrong.
Okay.
I thought that was going to be a noob comment or something at that point. Thank you very much, Polk. Congratulations. Moving on to the round of 16. Thank you also to Rotterdam as well. And we are headed to our first break of the day. Of course, don't go anywhere, though. There's plenty more action coming from the WCS Winter Championship and the Intel Extreme Masters. We'll see you soon.